when you first started getting interested in games, like what was that like for you? Were you young? Did you always want to work in games, or was there something else you had in mind as a career as you were growing up?
Yeah, well, in a sense, like as far back as I can remember, I was the kid who always got up like super early to watch the Saturday morning cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was kind of like, I want to make cartoons when I grow up, type of deal.
Okay.
So yeah, this was what, late '90s or something like that. Got the worst computer ever, and pretty much my journey started with like web comics and stuff. So I figured you gotta draw before you could kind of animate the 2D stuff. So
That makes sense. Did you do anything through like out high school or anything like that to build that skill set, or was it just something that was kind of in the back of your mind that you wanted to do?
I was kind of always working on that. Like, I don't think it was like I was super serious about it. At least I couldn't find any, resources.
Hmm.
Tools back then was a bit primitive. I downloaded like a bunch of like freeware kind of stuff to help kind of do any of that kind of stuff. But it
Yeah.
was, in short, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, we didn't have much in
So
the way of editors or tools that were, available to us outside of, commercially available for a long time.
yeah, like not only like the apps was kind of bad, but like my art in general I thought was kind of bad. So it was more like, goofy webcomics amongst my classmates throughout middle and high school.
Okay. That makes sense.
Um, it wasn't until one of my friend's brother, he actually went to Full Sail first,
Oh,
and I guess I was asking about, I think around that time when, I was playing the usual video games and whatnot, really big into the original Halo, Crash Bandicoot, and Final Fantasy 7,
mm,
8. No, not 7. I take it back. 9. I grew up on 9.
okay. A little younger than
Um,
me. Got it.
but um, but yeah, I think I asked my buddy, oh yeah, you going to Full Sail? What are you doing? And he said he's going for computer animation. I'm like, I like games. Maybe I should look into that. Um, so yeah, ended up at Full Sail.
So you went to Full Sail for animation. That was what you. And what year was it that you started, or at least roughly?
2003, 2004.
Okay, that makes sense.
I got my paper diploma on the wall here, and it says I graduated 2005.
Okay.
So a year or two before that, I'm something like that.
Was there already a bachelor's degree for it at that point? So it was the associate still.
Yeah, I think I was my group. I think in my group, but then one after me was like the last. They did the associate, then they started introducing the bachelors and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. It was definitely an associate's for me too. I started at the end of 99 and then graduated early 01. So just a few years ahead of you, at least on that side of things.
Was it also for computer animation?
No, I did game development at the time. I was in one of the first handful of classes that went through the game dev program. At the time, they didn't have an animation program. They didn't have very many programs. It was audio,
That was audio
film,
plays to begin with. And
yeah,
yeah.
audio, film, digital media, and that might have even been all of it until they started up the game program. So, and at the time, there was only Full Sail and Digipen had game programs at all. So it was definitely a very different time. So when you went for animation, was your goal to like you said you want to do games, but were you thinking like, you wanted to animate characters for games, or were you thinking about like Pixar films at all, or were you like, I'm definitely doing games?
Yeah, I think Pixar was kind of on the mind just because that's how the program was kind of geared around. It was
Mm-hmm.
more animation and film or whatever centric. Um, I, I think once I started school, I didn't give it much thought. I'm just like, let me get to class, learn as much as I can, and see what happens.
That's the right mentality. It's interesting though. Like I think animation, especially early on, was one of those degrees that had some flexibility with it. And there's a few industries that you could have got into with that, so that was nice on that side. Same with programming, right? Like that foundational knowledge kind of allowed multiple things outside of games if somebody wanted to. But I was definitely very focused on games. That was my whole goal there.
Yeah, so yeah, the computer animation course pretty much made you touch like a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end, I think it was up to you to figure out where you want to bring those skills or level it up, however you see fit.
Yeah. Were you tempted to try and do a bachelor's? Like, was it even an option by the time you finished?
I think by the time I finished, they started rolling. Yeah, they started rolling that out. But then I think I got hired on Full Sail as a lab instructor.
Oh, okay.
So I did that for a little bit, and I think I was just kind of like, I think I was contemplating it, but didn't want to. I didn't want to go back to. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's not anything I really considered. I ended up finishing mine and getting the bachelor's when I was working at Full Sail over the last few years. But once you're in the industry, that's what you're there for, right? Like that's what the degree is supposed to help you do.
Yeah, get the foot in the door.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about your actual time at school. Was there anything in particular that like you excelled at or struggled with as you were going through that you had to like either put some extra time into or was extra easy for you felt?
Easy, no. Well, it wasn't easy, but I found it easy to get lost in my work, I guess. That type of mentality.
Yeah.
Like the the actual lectures and stuff was super boring, I found.
Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, some of them was interesting because like, all right, new topic, this is how you animate, blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, cool. And then after the lecture, you get your lab time. I'm like, all right, I'm all in.
Yeah.
But also part of the curriculum, you get some, like computer history or something like that. One of them like more non-technical classes, and that really put me to sleep.
Yeah.
Like I just want a motto, but
I'm with you because like I'm definitely a hands-on learner. That a lot of that stuff was because of accreditation needs, and
yeah, totally.
and it was usually pretty clear that's what it was for.
Like don't like now, since I know what I'm doing now. Now I'm looking back and like I wish I would have paid attention more. And we had like one or two like entertainment business classes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that would have been nice to pay attention to now. So
you can audit those courses. So
yes, the problem is just finding the time to do so.
100%, 100%. Yep, I totally get that. What kind of final project do you have in animation? Was it a group project, a solo thing? What kind of thing did you do?
Geez, I heard it was like pretty different for different classes.
Hmm.
My wife also went through Full Sail, and she said it was pretty much a mess when she went through the demo reel creation phase.
Mm-hmm.
When I went through, I think my group was kind of focused on one of the elements of 3D animation you want to do and make a demo reel out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to do demo reels. Mine was focused around environment and not environment, yeah, modeling and texturing in general.
Okay. Yeah, so that's another interesting thing. Like there's multiple parts, right, that goes into the art side of things, and that degree had a little bit of everything in it. You even did a little bit of VFX, right? Or did that come in? Yeah,
I had to do VFX.
yeah. So it's really more of a comprehensive digital art degree in a lot of ways. Did you get to choose like animation at some point, or was it was called animation and it had the rest of that stuff in it?
Yeah, so I think the bulk overall it was called computer animation.
Mm-hmm.
So they just introduced you. This is how you model. They taught you how to model in polygons, NURBS, and sub-Ds.
Mm.
Which two of those you don't use anymore.
Right.
So not unless you like in film, because I think film still do use some NURBS at least. Because
Okay.
it's film quality, you need that, infinite resolution type of stuff or whatever.
Right.
Anyway, I ignore all that. So but yeah, you get into rigging and then animation, the VFX, compositing. I was almost tempted to at the time you could kind of fail on purpose in a sense, so you could retake a class again if you wanted to really like double down on that part of them
Mm-hmm.
of computer animation. Compositing was pretty cool, but I don't want to get held behind, so
So wait, did you do that? Did you purposefully retake a course?
I did not. But the option was there.
I
I was
did.
tempted.
I retook my first programming class on purpose because I didn't get it, and I was like, I could pass this class with a C, or I could retake it and understand it. And after that, I got like all A's and B's. So it was like one of the best decisions I ever made. But man, it was it was tough. It was a tough decision.
Yeah, like especially for that, like that's why I feel like I'm like fast forward to my current position in career. I'm like, I wish I could kind of, oh, can I retake a few more times so I could know how to program
Right.
correctly?
Yeah, that's understandable. You know, it's a lot. You know, like that's the thing that I think people don't people that haven't attended Full Sail don't understand how intense it is, right? Because it's like it's essentially a full-time job. You have 40 hours of class and labs, and then also the extra time it takes to get your projects done. It's intense. Like there's a lot going on, and you're done with a class in a month, like, and then you move on to something else. Like I love it. I excelled in that format, but it's intense. Like it takes all you've got to do well, I think.
It really does. And like especially like those first earlier classes where it's like you and like everybody, right? All fields of entertainment is with you in the first few classes.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing the amount of people drop by at least the second month, I'm like, it's
Yeah.
not that hard, but
It's intense. You know, honestly, a lot of it. And my son just started. He's in his second month now. He's doing media communications, and a lot of it's just effort, right? Like if you put the time in and make it, you know, the first thing that you're working on, the first thing that you're doing each day and each week, like most of it, you know, you'll learn what you need to as long as you're putting in the effort. And I think a lot of people come in and expect, you know, traditional colleges don't take that kind of effort, right? Like it's spread out over the course of a semester. You don't even have to go to class if you don't want to, you know, and it's a very different vibe for sure.
it's definitely different. You know, I grew up in Puerto Rico, so small island. Mostly all my entertainment's from TV, and
Mm.
from what TV, it looks like college is, you know, more chill than what I went through.
Right. It's all partying, right? Like
Yeah, like where the parties at?
There were not that many parties at Full Sail, that's for sure.
I just felt like the opposite when I went through. It was like at least I would knew a group or two would always have get-togethers and parties or
Oh yeah.
Super Smash Brother tournaments.
Nerd
But
parties, got it. No,
nerd parties.
those are the best parties.
But since I didn't drink at the time and I was bad at Super Smash, I'm like, all right, this ain't for me. Back to open lab for me.
I mean, you could have took it as an opportunity to become a drinker and get better at a game. I'm just saying. Like,
I could have either level up my communication and personality skills
Yeah.
or my technical skills.
yeah, you only get to choose one. So when
Well, you could choose one first, and you can always go back for the other.
That's true. You've got some really cool stuff to talk about, and I'm trying not to jump ahead because we've got a lot of stuff to cover. But I'm really looking forward to some of the stuff we're going to get to talk about.
I've been around.
Yeah, I get that. It's really interesting. Just in general, if you've been in this industry long enough, you usually end up changing companies fairly regularly, often not by your own choice.
Never by your choice.
Yeah, rarely. Yeah, rarely by your own
Rarely.
choice. And but man, like I always love seeing the path that someone goes on and why did you leave this place? Why did you end up where you did? You know, and that's what I love most about these conversations, because everyone gets to hear a cool story about like what you went through, because it's not always roses, is it? Like there's often times you're like, you know what? I didn't know what was going to happen now. I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent next month. And, you know, it can get pretty intense.
Yeah, those are never fun, but it comes with the territory.
It
as they
does.
say.
It does. It does. I hope it's less so now. Like I hope that people that are entering the industry now, it seems to me that the industry appears a bit more stable overall, and a little more effort is put into things like work-life balance and, you know, things of those nature across the board. I hope it's true. I really hope it's true, because when I started in this industry, it was a shit show, to be honest. Like it was like there was no security anywhere. Like you just like people just let you go. Project's over. We're gonna let everybody go. Like that happened a whole lot. It's not fun.
Yeah. I guess a good thing you could see that this whole the what this I don't know if it's still going on or not technically, the COVID pandemic. The one good thing about that, it kind of opened the door and allowed many companies to take on the work from home approach.
100%. I say the same exact thing. It's literally why I'm working from home now, and I'm super thankful for that part of it. Yeah, but you're right. Like it's for a long time, it was like it wouldn't even be considered. Like we have to be in the same room together. We have to have everybody together in order to make something, and we're proving now that that's not the case. People can be happier, healthier, and still get things done. Ooh, we got an interesting question. I think this one's okay to ask now. What's the favorite project you've worked on so far?
I'm gonna have to say Bungie,
Yeah,
Destiny.
on Destiny. All right.
I feel like that was like going back to the whole childhood thing, playing video games and stuff. On the island, me and my other classmates, I would say our parents, all the parents would get together. They do their thing. You just dump the kids in a room, have fun, and that usually involves Halo LAN parties.
Yeah.
So Bungie was on my mind that way back then, and I guess somehow ended up at Bungie. I'm like, all right, I lived that dream. Now what?
Yeah, that means a lot. Like for me, it would be a lot of either the companies that I idolized as a kid were Nintendo and Square Enix, right? So like something on Final Fantasy or anything Nintendo IP. I haven't done either one of those yet, so who knows? But like I get it. Like there's that bit of like, oh man, if I could ever work on this thing from my childhood, that would be amazing. So I totally get at least how that must feel.
Came close to working for Pokemon, but I'm like, this,
that's one
but
thing. I was a little. I never got into Pokemon. I could have, should have, probably, but I just felt like when people really got into it, I was a little older than like the cartoons and stuff. I don't know. I had a hard time kind of getting into it, and also trying the games. I never could get one to. I couldn't get into it, and I'm not sure why. I tried a few times with I tried Black and White. I tried something else, and then I tried also a more recent one on the Switch, and I don't know. I don't know if I don't give it enough time to get into it. Maybe I should go back and give it another try. Let me ask you this: if I were to say I want to get into Pokemon, where should I start? What would you say? What should I do?
I don't know now, because if you say anything minus the previous one or the one that's about to come out, the last one was, what is it? Arceus.
Mm-hmm. That's a little different one. That's not a traditional one, right?
It's not traditional, but I also like it a lot.
Okay.
At the same time, it looks hideous.
Oh, does it?
But oh man, I grew up as an environment artist, so I'm all about art, and that game looks hideous.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
That's not good.
But the gameplay, they finally tried something new and changed it up, and I really like the gameplay of it, at least.
Okay.
It makes the whole hunting Pokemons and scanning them for your Pokedex, it just makes sense in that context.
Hmm.
In any other series, it's like, all right, you catch a Pokemon, fill out your Pokedex, never use that Pokemon again.
So it's literally just a collecting aspect.
It's just collecting and filling your list one at a time. And in the current iteration, they kind of took I guess a little design from Pokemon Go, where if you capture many of the same Pokemon, you get like experience or candies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So in Arceus, you have like kind of like a mini, like kind of like a quest system in a sense, where if you catch the same Pokemon X amount of times, complete that quest.
Oh, I
And
see.
you gotta fight the same Pokemon a certain way to complete this quest. So they kind of give you more incentive to fight the same things again.
So essentially an achievement type system, right? Where it's like, do this thing multiple times and then you, or do this one thing and then you get that reward for it. It's interesting.
Yeah, so it's like design wise, I really like how they did that. The combat feels more fluid. You're not tied to like a bunch of menus and wait for animations that happen. Enemy turn, your turn, enemy turn.
So okay, that's interesting because so one of the things I love old turn-based RPGs, right? And that's actually a part of that I do like. But what you're saying is you like the freshness of this other style of combat. Is it more real-time combat, or how does it different with Arceus?
I should say it's still kind of this. It's still turn-based,
Mhm.
but as a player. So the whole concept of Pokemon Trainer, you are commanding your Pokemon. So as the player, you can still run around, and the battle is still happening in the
Okay.
field. So whatever's happening in the field is still turn-based, but as a player, I can still run around and do stuff.
I see.
It's that kind of breaks up the monotony. It's still turn-based. You still telling commands. You're still doing whatever, weakening the Pokemon to capture it. But they broke it up enough that it doesn't feel monotonous to me.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I can see how that would make a difference. Is there anything you can do in that moving around phase, or is it just kind of the freedom of that move and exploration that makes it feel less kind of constricted?
I think just being able to change the camera and run around at will. I think that pretty much, from what I can remember.
I mean, that does give a feeling of freedom for sure. Like I can totally get that. Okay. All right, I'll think about that. I think my son has that one. I might grab it from him and give it a shot, but we'll see. We'll see. It's one of those things I've tried a couple times and just haven't been successful. But I'm also someone who, like many times throughout my life, I'll pick up a new game, I'll play it for an hour, I'll get tired, and I'll stop, and then I never go back to it. Like that happens to me all the time. And I mean, a part of that is just ADHD, I'm sure. But
yep.
but some of them are like, I really should put that effort into to really dig into something, and I don't know.
Yeah, if anything, I never beat the game myself. I get to the final boss and be like, it's too hard. But if anything, at least play a little bit just to get the design, the design loop of it.
Yeah,
that's the main thing that I like. That's the main thing that I'm after whenever I play a new game. Like, all right, how's the design loop? Is it cool enough? Cool. Let me put up my mental banks, and I may use it at some point.
Yeah.
And then at that point, is the game fun enough? Do I want to continue or not?
Yeah, totally. I used to have this thing where I would be like, any game I play, I'm going to play it for 10 hours. And then then I'll decide, do I want to continue on to this, or do I feel like I kind of got enough of it? But I realized that number was a little high. Like, I don't think you have to put that much time into something to get the vibe. It's probably really more like 3 or 4. But then at the same time, I feel like if I say I played something for 4 hours, most people will be like, well, you didn't really even get into it,
Like, exactly. I don't have time.
Right. Yes. Look, I am 44 years old. I don't have time to.
Yeah, I'm currently playing. Me and my wife is playing V Rising, that vampire type game. I don't know what genre it's called, considered.
That's a game I heard about and was interested in, but completely forgot about it till just now. I'm gonna have to look at that again.
It's a top-down fixed cam. Well, not fixed camera, fixed angle. You could rotate the camera, but still top-down.
Mm-hmm.
Real-time survival hack and slash base building game.
Oh, okay. It's real time.
Yes.
Interesting. So you can't pause the action at all.
You cannot, especially since it's multiplayer.
All right, man. I'm not a real time person. Like it's tough. It's very anxiety kicks me in the nuts every time I play something real time.
I want to say it could be relatable to, like, I think Dota. I think that might be that type of game.
Oh,
like,
okay.
What's another League? I guess that's another game. League of Legends.
Okay.
It's kind of like that kind of style. I don't know. I never played either of the other two, but that's what I've been told it's felt like.
All right, that makes sense.
So, yeah, it's not like super intense, but you do have to hit the buttons if you want to get your attacks out and all that stuff.
Yeah, attacks on timers and things like that.
Yeah, cooldowns, timer, magic, and.
Okay. All right. You've reminded me of 2 things that I keep meaning to check out and put some time into, so I'll put those back on my list. But I want to go back and talk about the end of your time at Full Sail, because the thing I'm always curious about is when when you're getting in those last couple of months, and when you had an associate, you were probably only there for like 13 to 15 months, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Mhm.
When did you start looking for work, and what kind of work did you look for?
Well, anything game related of like anybody want like I want to do games, so let me just spam game companies and see if they bite or not.
What
But
kind of
that was never.
roles? What were you looking at? And what did you
I was
find?
aiming. I was aiming for environment artist,
Okay.
environment and prop.
Okay, well, let's talk about that, because you were saying animation, but that's a different skill, right? Like when you're kind of
Yeah,
focusing
I
on the
mean
art
it's weird.
creation side.
It's like saying if I'm in the VFX field, VFX for like film means it's not just visual effects. It's like compositing, lighting, all this other stuff, photogrammetry, modeling's involved. It's kind of similar with computer animation
Mm-hmm.
because that's like a blanket term. So within computer animation, I just focus on like modeling, materials, and maybe some lighting.
Okay.
So just modeling in general, that's like kind of like the most basic thing I could do.
Okay. So was your thought process like, where can I be the most useful, or was your thought process, I'm the best at modeling?
I
Because
I
I think
guess
either are valid,
yeah,
right? Like, and if
yeah.
it's both, that's even better.
I guess that's another thing. Like I have like that humbleness to whatever. Like I still don't think I'm the best at anything, which I guess is a good thing. It kind of keeps me in check.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, out of everything I've done with computer animation, modeling was my strongest.
Yeah.
um, it just seems like that's more of a common thing to get into as well.
Mm.
If I had a choice, I would have gone to compositing because
Okay.
I really like blending stuff into, you know, blending CG onto real and blending, whatever that's involved.
Probably not a lot of entry level positions doing that, right?
No, entry level for like film and compositing would be rotoscoping, and that is like the boringest thing ever. Like I do not want to rotoscope.
So then,
So
as you were looking, were you finding entry level stuff, or were you seeing stuff that required more experience than you actually had, and you had to kind of just take a stab at it?
I was mostly taking stabs.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen very rarely like intern positions.
Mm-hmm.
Even those I didn't get, so I just went to the next best thing, which is like what's the word? Associate level. So associate prop modeler or associate environment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I tried all of those, and no, I didn't hear not from a studio at least.
What areas of the country were you looking at or hoping to move to? Because at this point you were in Orlando, yeah.
Yes, I'm still in Orlando. Yeah, I was in Orlando. My family's in Orlando, so
Oh,
all
okay.
right, I have a place to stay at least.
Oh, that's helpful. Did you grow up here?
I did not. I grew up in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. When did you come to Orlando?
Jeez, I don't remember.
I mean, roughly. Were you like young or like high
I
school
was
age?
like high school. Like
Okay.
so I was born in New Jersey, raised in Puerto Rico. Until graduate high school, and then at that point, I'm like, for sale.
Gotcha.
So I
Okay.
think my parents also took that chance to like, all right, you want to go to full everybody to the States?
Oh, so everybody came together.
Yes.
That's cool. I don't
So
hear
I have
that very often.
yeah, I have two younger brothers, and I think my parents figured it would be best for them to continue their education in the States as well.
Okay. I can get down with that. That's cool. And so so the whole family moved. That's really cool. I like that. That
Yeah.
probably made it easier, like more comfortable for you, right? As you were going through
It was.
school.
I had to both like it's good and bad, at the same time. Like good, yes, family's there,
Mhm.
food, I got a roof over my head. Bad, because I can't do whatever I've been seeing on TV to do.
You don't get to party. Well, I mean, luckily you went to a school that focuses, right? Like you that wasn't a big part of the what's the right word, of the atmosphere, or the the culture there. That's what I'm looking for. So,
So plus and minus, I did really good in school. I graduated. I got valedictorian or
hmm,
whatever honors and whatever.
nice.
But the downside is I'm just a weird, quiet kid who don't know how to interact with people.
I don't
So,
know about that. Now, come on.
well, I mean, I'm better now. My
Right?
wife
Yeah.
tells me that. So
Yeah.
I met my wife at Full Sail.
You did? Like she was going to school
Yes,
too?
but she tells me this. Where is she? No, she's not around. But even doing Full Sail, when I graduated, I was hired on as a lab instructor, and I
Okay.
was in the labs helping whatever. She tells me she would come by every now and then and poke me on the shoulder and talk to me. I'm like, I do not remember none of this.
Really?
I do not remember none of this. So, long story short, she got me to go out because I think pizza was involved,
She
and
lured
that's
you
where it
with
began.
food?
Food, food and anime.
Uh, oh man. Lured with food and anime. That's going to go into the notes of the show, just so you know. No, that's
Yep.
great. So was she also in art, or like what degree did she
Yeah,
take?
she did the computer animation
Okay.
route. I think at the time, I think when she went through, they actually did have like 2D classes,
Hmm.
and I think that's what she really wanted to do, like
Okay.
concept art and traditional animation and such.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good foundation, right? Like for the rest of the stuff too. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
but I think it was also during her class that they did like the group project or something for
Hmm.
the demo reel, and that was pretty bad.
That seems weird to me. Like a group project as an artist, like or as a group of just artists. That seems a
Mhm.
little odd to me. Yeah. What
Yeah,
are you
I
gonna do?
think she keeps saying that's her class was unfortunately like the guinea pigs.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think Full Sail's doing that anymore.
Gotcha. That makes sense. All right. So you that's really interesting. How long were you a lab instructor?
I want to say 5 to 6 months,
Oh,
and
okay.
during that time, I was still looking for maybe shorter. At that time, I'm still looking, sending out resumes. But the only reason why I left Full Sail is because I was fired.
What? What? Uh, hold on. Let's hear more
Right,
about that.
right, wait. This requires a shot. No, it's nothing bad. It's just so, as you know, you go through the curriculum with your fellow classmates.
Hmm.
You make friends. You have, a certain friend circle and such. Since I graduated, I got hired on pretty quickly as a lab instructor, and one of the rules now as a teacher, you cannot fraternize with students.
Right.
A
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of my friends are still in the class and stuff,
Hmm.
so unbeknownst to me, or I don't think too much about it. Um, we had you know, let your hair down event. All the lab instructors can come to this event. I'm like, all right, an event's happening. Let's go, everybody. Everybody, all my friends, whom of which are still students, and you can see where that kind of went from there.
Yeah, that's gonna get you in trouble.
So I got in trouble. I think this wasn't the first time, so I don't know.
Hmm.
So
I mean, I
as
get it. I get it.
I get it.
It's you know, it makes sense as a rule for sure, right? Like for sure. But at the same time, I think there's sometimes circumstances where it shouldn't be as big of a deal. But
True, but again, like, this isn't the first time it's been brought up to me. So I'm like,
hey, I'm trying to throw
oops.
you a bone here, and you.
Now it's in hindsight, I still think that was like one of the better decisions that happened, or better event that happened to me.
Yeah.
Only because there's stories, and I mean, some of my existing friends now who went to Full Sail, did the lab instructor route, and they're still at Full Sail now as a lab instructor. So yeah, you have this continuous job, or get fired, go see the world, get level up in different areas and such. So
Yes. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I had a similar scenario as I was finishing up school, and I basically I had a lab instructor position offered to me, and I was going to take it, but then I ended up finding an industry position, and I was like, you know what, I have to do this. Like, I have to go take this industry position, and I'm just gonna be completely frank here. I think lab instructor positions are great. It's a really great way for students that are clearly good at doing the kind of things that they're being taught and to help others do it. Right? I think that's great. But I think it's also easy to get complacent. And if you're there to be in the industry, you need to go be in the industry, right? Use that opportunity in that time to like stabilize yourself, build your skills. Teaching is a great way
portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. Teaching is a great, helping others is a great way to kind of build your own skill set, right? Because, it helps reinforce what you know. But man, you've got to keep that mentality of like, I'm here because I want to go do this thing. I didn't come here because I wanted to teach others to do it, right? And so like, I think early in your career, that can be a difficult balance when you take a role like a lab instructor where you're like, you know what, I'm fine. Things are good. You got to be careful with that.
I think that I was kind of feeling a little bit like that, all right, complacent. This is cool. This is easy. I could work on my own stuff, answer a question every now and then, and rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I look at everything, good or bad, as a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be learned, and experiences like that are always good. Are you the kind of person that you might have hung out there longer than you should have if you had kept that opportunity, or are you someone who's like, because I could see myself doing that, which is why I asked the question where I'm like, if it's comfortable like that, it's hard to leave. You know what I mean? It can be.
Yeah. If so, I would have probably lasted maybe 2 years max.
Okay.
Only because based on my current trajectory on LinkedIn, I'm like every 2 years I'm hopping ship anyway. So I would have gotten bored one way or another.
I get that too. Oh man. 2 years early in my career would have been a long time somewhere. I'm just saying. Like my first few jobs did not last very long.
I have to remind myself on LinkedIn right now. But my current goal is to at least break the 3-year mark.
Have you not been somewhere over 3 years?
No, I have not.
So I want to talk about that a little bit, because this one thing you have to understand about this industry, everyone, is the way that you actually move up most of the time is by going somewhere else, right?
It's sad, but true.
It truly is. And especially early in my career, I did not leave jobs for new ones. I lost jobs and got new ones. But each time I did, I ended up making more money and having a better position every single time. Right.
Yep,
and
same.
That's the way this industry works, especially early in your career. And it's sad, but true.
Yep. 100%. Yep. That's pretty much my career right there. Whenever I made a new career jump, a company change, hop ship, there's like, extra 20K, more stuff. Your title's grown. Right. All right, cool.
Right.
But
yes. And the thing that's really sad, okay, let me preface this with my experience has been, and the thing that I've seen and I believe to be true, is that most companies don't promote their people often enough, and they don't increase their pay well enough. Right. Like there's a bit of a mentality of like, we have someone, they're doing a good job. We're not as worried about keeping them happy as we are bringing in new people and making sure the people that are unhappy become happy. And so you get in a position where a company they have to focus their resources, right? And those resources don't get focused on the guy who's there and doing a great job most of the time. Now, I say that as I think that has been true throughout my career, at least what I've seen, been my experience. I will say that's not true where I am now, for sure. But like it sucks, because it's like it's hard to just like, I'm going to be a company man and continue to grow my career here, because it's often not where resources are put.
True, true. I mean, like recently, I think Microsoft said they were doing a new whatever program to kind of help retain their current employees by paying them a lot more.
That's a good way to
So
do
that's
it.
that's
Yeah.
one way. So
That'll help. Yeah, it's really interesting. Just kind of the way there's so little like standard in our industry as far as like what a position should be paid. Like each company kind of has their own pay scale and their own kind of they value certain things differently. It can be really frustrating as someone who's looking for employment to kind of find the right fit sometimes.
yeah, it's I don't know, it's weird. Like again, like you said, every company has their own set of. They have a different scale.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at Facebook at one point compared to what I'm making now. Facebook pays a lot more, but my title would be a lot lower. I'm like,
Right.
how does that work?
And sometimes that's like that's the interesting thing. Uh there's kind of your personal situation, right? Which is separate from your outward representation, right? Because ultimately the title itself doesn't matter too much except when other people are looking at it or when other companies are looking at it, right?
Mhm.
Ultimately, when you're in a job, what matters is how much am I making and what is my responsibility and how much autonomy do I have, right? Like those are the things that you care about, when you're in a role. Then when you go to leave that role to look for another one, then you're like, oh, is the rest of the industry going to understand how important my position was because of my title? They're only going to see my title. So like, it becomes an interesting kind of balance at that, figuring that out at times.
I had many friends who were um like I was like a regular environment artist at one point. Me and a lot of my other friends were also just environment artists.
Hmm.
And then this one friend, he's a senior. I'm like, how do you become a senior? He's like, I just gave myself the title, and then they hired me as a senior. So I'm like, what? So I
Sometimes
think
that happens.
so. Yeah, I mean, if you've been in a spot long enough, you could be considered a senior. And if they don't give you the title, you give it yourself. So when the next person hires you on, they see you as a senior, and
Yeah.
it's like, what is it?
First impressions are
So
super important, right?
so I guess in the sense like if you under the impression that I'm a senior, you will be treated and paid as a senior. And it's as simple as
Yeah.
that in a sense.
It can be, right? I mean, sometimes you want to see, the backing it up, right? I want to see like that you've been at a position for a while. I want to see that senior title make sense on your resume. Like those things definitely happen. And if I'm asking you, you have senior on your resume, the questions I'm going to ask you are going to be much
Mhm,
more sophisticated, right? And more
mhm,
complicated because as senior, I would expect you to be someone who can handle bigger problems, right? And on your own, And so like I think it can be easy to understand if someone's truly senior if you interview them properly.
mhm.
But I'm going to look at your resume quicker if I see senior on it, right? So it
Yeah,
gets
I have
interesting.
another friend. He's a lead right now at High Res, and he was my student back in Full 7 days, and I know his work ethic is what he knows and doesn't know. But he has a personality he knows he has a personality, he has the lingo to he could talk to talk, and when they put him on a certain project, he can pick things up like super quickly. So if you don't know that he doesn't know that stuff beforehand, you won't think otherwise. He's just
Right.
he can just adapt that quickly and knows what he's talking about, and essentially prove it, even though he hasn't done it in the past. So,
Right. So that's an
so
interesting thing though. Like as an instructor or as a lab instructor, seeing someone's work ethic as a student, I think can be a little bit different as what they're capable of when they're out in the industry or on their own. So that's an interesting thing to me because you have an impression of this person, right? Like
mhm.
you saw kind of how they handled this, but do you also kind of keep in the back of your mind like there's been an opportunity for growth here over time, like, and do you have to kind of get to know them again, reevaluate what they're capable of at that point?
I mean, in a sense, like, if it was back in Fosa, like, I know what you're about. Just all talk. Now, since you're doing your own thing, you maybe part ways for a while. You say hi every now and then. You don't know what the other person has gone through or how much have they've powered leveled essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, whenever I talk to my buddy now, like, I don't know what you're talking about. So you must clearly know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. So because I can't keep up. I don't know what you do anymore. It's above what I know. So
That's
in that
cool.
sense,
That
in
has
that
to be
sense,
cool. Yeah. Like I really, really look forward to the day that I feel like one of the people that I taught has completely surpassed me. Like I'm excited for that day, because I hope that becomes a day that I can learn from the person that I used to teach. And I'm waiting for it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll probably be a little while, but that's something that I like. I feel like there's the potential of having the attitude of like, I'm always going to be the teacher to that person, right? But that is definitely not the case. And I think as someone who ever teaches, mentors, whatever that is, you have to understand that there's a chance that the person you're helping is eventually going to be way better at what you're doing than you are.
Yeah, like that goes back to like the whole approaching it in a humble manner in a sense. So I
Yeah.
know I'm not the best, but also, I'm capable and I know I'm not the best because there's always somebody out there who's going to be better at what you do.
Oh yeah.
So
Man, I I try to keep the mentality of I'm probably not the smartest person in the room at any time. You know what I mean? Like there's probably someone in here that knows more about whatever we're talking about than I do. I'm going to give my opinion, but I'm not going to assume it's the best one.
yeah, I think if you know that you're not the smartest, that in itself is already a plus because there's some people I've met in my career who like think they're the best and this is the way. I'm like, it's just really not. It's not the way. But they get the they get they're full of themselves in a sense. So I'm like,
Yeah. No, I totally get it. I
you
totally
you
get that.
can't grow if you think you're the best. So
That is true. That is true. I always assume there's someone better than me, and I'm certain of it. I'm certain there's someone that's better than me in every aspect, probably on the team that I'm working on at all times, right? But it's not my goal to be the best. It's my goal to make the best decision every day, right? To do the best work that I can every day.
yeah, and like how can you be the best with how fast new tech and stuff is coming out and different ways of doing things? How are you going to keep on top of everything?
Yeah, absolutely. And to touch back on Full Sail a little bit, to me, the thing that I always say, I always credit Full Sail for is I learned how to learn. Like in this industry, you're constantly going to be learning new things, and the pace and the kind of the urgency that we learn how to absorb new knowledge while we're there, I think really kind of catapulted me in a way where when new things are happening, I know how to adapt quickly. I know how to pick up that new knowledge. I know how to kind of adjust to whatever is happening. And that's been super valuable for me for sure.
That's how I ended up in Wolfenstein.
Oh yeah.
uh, one of my lead was like, "Oh, have you done cinematic lighting before?" Yeah, I've done it before. I haven't done it before.
Yeah, right.
I've done lighting, but not in a cinematic fashion. But how hard can it be? It turned out it was a lot easier. So, but knowing what I knew and know when to kind of say yes, I guess
Yeah.
that's also part of, you know.
Man, that is okay. I want to talk about that a little bit because this industry is a place where you get better positions or you move up by proving you're already ready to do the next thing, right? So like for instance, when I was at EA, they had like a list of like, at this position you should know these things and be able to accomplish these things. At this position you should now be able to do these things or whatever. But it was rarely a case of where you're like, hey, we think you're capable of that thing, so we're going to move you into that position. It was, no, I've proven to you I'm already working at that higher level, so I should be moving into that position. And so a lot of times it's like, hey, we need somebody that can do this one thing. If you think you're capable of it, maybe even if you think you're not, but your experience is similar, you should raise your hand and be like, yep, I can take that. I can do that. I know how to do that. And then you learn how to do it. Like it works. It's great.
It's both good. Like you got to know when you could pull it off, but at the same time know when to say no.
Yes. Yes.
Another, I think it was one of my teachers. I forget at what point of life, but he's like, never volunteer. that was his comment. It's like just never volunteer, because that could mean a whole lot of work that you weren't ready for or wasn't expecting.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not at least like, if you can't understand the magnitude of the work, you probably shouldn't raise your hand for it. You know what's hilarious to me? We are halfway through this and we haven't got past Full Sail yet. So I was right. We're definitely gonna have to have you back on. I'm already saying that. But we have so much stuff to talk about still. Okay, so I want to talk about, like, you were a lab instructor. You had this point where you now had to not be a lab instructor. So at that point, did you have any feelers out already, or was it like, oh, I don't have that job now, I must find something? And what did you do at that point?
I think at that point, thanks that my family was with me, so I just, essentially went to hermit mode, I guess. Just like, all right, let me work on my portfolio.
Okay.
But also, like, going back a bit, like, I met friends through Full Sail. So just so happened, one of my friends, she got a job at a company within Orlando, and that company was looking, and she reached out to me saying, hey, was I looking? Was I interested? I'm like, yes. Let's do it.
Man, I love that so much. Like, people often don't understand how important networking is. I preach it so much. It's so important. Just literally what you just described happens to me so many times where I'm like, the position is available. I know hundreds of people, right, throughout my career, but when I know someone has talked to me and said, hey, I'm on the look, or I've been considering a new position, or, that kind of stuff, as soon as I see that, I know who to reach out to. Like, those connections are so important. So important.
It really is. So yeah, I had very few or small, like, friend group, but they still counted.
Yeah.
That's how I landed at what is it? Rockwell Collins. I've never heard of them. I don't know what they do. Well, they do military simulations. I'm like, I don't know what that is. Can I do it?
Yeah.
And she explained it's essentially just making a catalog of military equipment for the military to use in simulation. I'm like, modeling, all right, cool.
Exactly what you wanted to do. Like, that I'll say again, I've said this many times, but military any simulation in general is a really good kind of parallel path to game development. It's the same tools, same processes, same skills, and the experience translates, right? So like, if you do some sim stuff and then a game job comes, they can look at that and be like, oh, you're doing the things that we're trying to do. It's just for a different market.
Pretty much. Like, even this was in 2009. There was other, like, that was the first time being exposed to, like, that type of industry.
Yeah.
But Orlando is pretty big in military sim stuff.
There's a lot of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, at one point I was seeing what else was in that area, and another company down the street from Rockwell was doing, like, simulation for the Boeing or whatever, but they were using CryEngine.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So it's not only proprietary stuff, but some of them is actually using, off the shelf game engines.
I'd say to now it's even more the case, right? Like, especially with Unreal and Unity, like, there's that why would you not use two, like, they're both incredibly full featured and, like, industry ready tools. Why would you not do that? Why would you try to build your own if you're not like a AAA style developer?
Yeah, right.
So what kind of, so your friend introduced you to the job. You come in. I'm curious. First of all, was the offer for you? Was it something that was a decent offer? Or was it more like I need something, I want to do the work, I'm going to take a shot here?
I needed a job that became available. I'm like, all right, it's modeling, something I can do. Let's do it.
Nice. So at that point, you weren't really super considered with how much it paid, or because you had your family there, right? Like
Mhm.
you had a good situation to kind of like get your foot in the door, whatever it took.
That was pretty much take whatever you offer type of situation, because I didn't need, I didn't have rent or nothing to pay essentially, because thanks parents. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it was still enough. So I'm like, I gave my parents, a rent essentially, just to help them out.
Okay.
But yeah, it
Nice.
was it was it was a job.
Yeah. You got your foot in the door. Now that's so how long were you at that position?
About 2 years,
Oh,
2 years,
okay.
3 months.
That's a pretty significant amount of time. So were you during that time, were you was it multiple projects? Were you on one big thing for the long time? Like what was kind of
It,
the flow?
it was like one big thing.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
think that project was pretty much make a catalog of, um, I guess now would be considered digital twin kind of stuff.
Okay.
So if this tank, I don't know, like a CH-47 Chinook, they're like, all right, here's a one of them whirly birds. Model it. Next one, model it. Next one, and just keep on for
Ah,
2 years.
cranking out assets. That's great. That's a great kind of skill set builder too.
It was good. It was good to hone what I knew and learn a little extra. It was funny because my title was synthetic database engineer.
Synthetic database.
It's,
What does that mean, synthetic? Like what do you mean by that? Like
it's fake. It doesn't
sure,
exist. It's
sure,
fake,
sure.
right?
But
So
do you mean
it's a model. It's just a mod. It's a modeling. You are a modeler. It's
Gotcha.
essentially
Okay.
what it is.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Got you. I'm with you.
So that goes back to, like, the military have different acronyms and stuff for different stuff. So it just sounded overly complicated than what it was essentially.
I see. Gotcha. All right. Interesting. So one of the things, so we get a lot of people that are either coming up on graduation or wondering what am I going to do when I graduate, that kind of thing. Talk to me a little bit about entering the simulation field as your first job. Did it feel like games? Like as far as like the work you were doing, like your, I assume your skill set was exactly translated, right? Like you're doing the same kind of stuff, right?
It is. It's and they teach you the basics. This is a polygon. This is a texture. It's pretty much mapping what you know onto a different program. So it's modeling. What is it? It changed names a few times, but it's called like Presages Creator.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a 3D editor.
Oh, so you had like a specific editor that you were working in.
Yeah, yeah. So it existed. I think I convinced him to use Maya at some point. I
Oh,
can't remember. My mind is foggy. Uh, Presages Creator. Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, it's just an editor. So
okay.
and we had Photoshop, so that's how you did textures and just pump out
Same
assets.
workflow, right? Like literally the
it's
same workflow.
it's the same workflow, and I guess it is games to an extent because it's a simulation.
Right.
It needs to be ran on multiple computers, so it has to be real time.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be optimized. So game game principles to kind of apply.
Yeah.
Don't don't use any unnecessary polygons. Have clean UV maps, textures, and yeah.
No, that
Um,
totally makes sense. Like and that's the thing I try to tell people is it's the same skill set. If you're doing sim, you're building the same skill set you would use anywhere else in the games industry.
and I think at one point I'm like, I really want to do games. So
Yeah, that's the bit I was curious about. What kind of, so that was kind of the deciding factor for you. You just or like, you know what, this isn't fulfilling me enough and I want to move into like true game stuff?
I think that's pretty much it. Like, I think after a year and a half, I'm like, I mean, it's good and it's fairly stable. I mean, it's like, I think I still have friends working there right now still, but stable, but it's not what I wanted. So essentially, I took the first thing that, the first job that offered me that was in the game.
So were you actively looking at this point? Like, did you seek out and find it, or did someone reach out to you?
I think I actually used because Full Sail have that like placement kind
Career
of
development? Yeah.
yeah, career development placement.
Yeah.
I would always reach out to them, and this one listing was like, startup studio, mobile games,
Ah.
I forgot, Redmond, Washington. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Ah. All right. Man, Washington is a place that I am like, it is my top. If I leave Orlando, it will probably be to move to Washington somewhere. I want to live in the mountains in a cabin and have like skiing and ocean at my, like, I want both. And that seems like the place to do it.
There is a lot of mountains out there.
I'm looking forward to it. Someday it's going to happen. It's going to happen someday.
Like any place, just visit a few days to get a feel for it before committing.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
This was like a blind jump for me. I'm like, Washington, sure, why not?
That for that first game industry job, I always tell people, go wherever the work is. Like, you should not restrict where you're looking anywhere in the country. Like, you should be willing to go anywhere, and whatever works out, do it. Like, you can always move later. You will move later. Like, you will leave that company. Like, the odds are 99%. So just do whatever makes sense, right?
If you have the opportunity and if you're able to, especially earlier on, I would just 100% take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you hit, well, at least for me, like once I pass the 30s, I'm like, I don't want to move anymore.
I love the chat now is like throwing their exceptions in. They're like, no Jersey, no Ohio. Washington gets a yes. No Jersey or Ohio. I love it.
I've only, geez, I don't know. I was born in Jersey. I think I was in Jersey for maybe 2-3 years, but I don't remember nothing about Jersey really.
Yeah. All right. Before we dig into that first job, I want to ask you a few questions that I call the dev round. These are a series of questions that I ask everybody, and I'm curious to hear what your answers are. You ready for this?
All right, let's go.
All right. What is your favorite game of all time and why?
Crash Bandicoot.
The original? Oh, 2. Okay.
Original. PS1.
Why?
I think growing up in the Nintendo and Sega era, yes, I like the Super Marios. Sonic was another good one. I just like platforms.
Okay.
And I think Crash was like kind of my first 3D platformer. And I'm like, yes, this is like peak platforming right here.
All right. That
I
makes
think I
sense.
mentioned it earlier in the chat, but like Crash Bandicoot, Final Fantasy 9 was like my first RPG essentially. And
I love 9.
That stuck with me.
I love 9 so much. Yeah.
So yes, Crash Bandicoot.
All right. Next question. When did you first feel like you had made it in game development?
Bungie. What else can I say?
Yeah. All right. That works. And that was that bit of like, because you got to work for your dream studio, right?
Yep. Something I did as a child. I'm like, oh, it would be cool to work for Bungie. Final Fantasy, Square Soft at the time. I'm like, that would have been sweet, but I don't know Japanese enough like that.
Same.
And from what I knew at the time, is mostly you had to work and know Japanese to work on like a legit, first party title.
I think that's still mostly true. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm more of a platformer fan, so
Okay.
Crash Bandicoot was that one.
That totally makes sense. All right. What is your passion in game development? What do you care the most about specifically?
I I think my favoriteness would be the problem solving.
I'm with you.
So I think that's kind of how contributes where I'm at now. In addition to, if I haven't mentioned it, like I'm trying to make my own game with my wife.
Oh,
She's
you
the
are?
concept. Yes. She's a concept artist, art director, and I'm doing everything else.
All
But
right.
because of that, again, like back in my career, and like I like touching everything, like, ooh, how does this work? Let me learn about it. Let me
Mm,
implement it. All right, next.
interesting.
So
All right. That's good to know. That's going to bring up more questions later. What advice would you give to someone who's looking for their first job in the industry?
uh, something more constructive than get good. um get good. At least show that you can do what you're trying to, get into.
Okay.
If I say I want to become a game designer, right? I want to be an animator. Do you have anything in your portfolio or YouTube or anywhere that demonstrate what you're saying, what you're wanting is what you can do?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I guess for me, like, oh, I guess another whole thing about this industry is art tests, which
Yeah.
is annoying at this point for me. I guess anybody who's been doing it long enough, it's annoying. But
Yeah.
if you're earlier on the entry, you're going to be doing a lot of art tests.
You are. And sometimes later on, and as you've been doing it long enough, you do get a little annoyed. You're like, do I really need to prove this, again? But at the same time, the people at that company don't know your work. They don't know what you're capable of. Like, I think it's an interesting opportunity to, spark conversations and make sure that there's a good fit. And that's why if I'm asked to do one, I do it, right? Because I think that, like, at the very least, I want to fit into their process. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's at some point you kind of like, do I really need to do that? Like, I've been doing it for 20 years. Like, go look at all the stuff I've worked on.
Right? Like I could see if your resume have like, one item on it and it's when you did like, a cashier at some job. I'm like, that's not related. So here's an art test.
Yeah.
That I can see.
Right.
But if you have like mine or your resume with lists of, years of experience and ship titles,
Yeah.
am I going to give you another, oh, you want to take a design art test? Like,
Yep.
eh,
In some cases it can be a little insulting, but for the
right.
most part, I try to be like, you know what? It's part of their process. I'll let it go,
Yeah, I mean, if it's nothing you can't gather from my existing, resume or LinkedIn or YouTube or anything, then I'll consider it. Like, uh, I guess like what I'm doing now, I kind of got out of it, but I'm a technical artist now. Do I know how to program? No.
Right.
Asterisk.
Yeah.
So, like now I know enough to get by, but if you would giving me like a C# test initially to get into it, I'm like, I could
Right.
I
Yeah.
could tell you a lot of wrong stuff, but
I'd be the same. It's really funny because I do not consider myself a programmer, but all of my friends say I'm a way better programmer than I admit to be, and I'll figure it out. But man, if you just set me down with a basic coding test, I'd be like, I don't like this isn't what I do, like. Oh my god, it's so funny you would ask about Houdini because I'm learning Houdini right now. Like that's like I'm using Houdini a lot.
that would be a good one to learn because I don't know it.
Yeah.
A lot of studios is picking it up. I think the last Guerrilla games they've like relied heavily on Houdini from uh, Horizon Dawn.
hmm
It's pretty powerful
Houdini
if you
is
can learn it.
ridiculously
Learn it.
versatile and powerful. Everyone should learn Houdini if you can, for sure. It's
And that goes back to like I think you touched base on it. Like if uh, you pretty much learn how you can learn, right?
mhm.
So what I've done, what I've know, all the programs I've touched, proprietary programs. You tell me to learn Houdini, I'm like, all right, let's learn it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, I guess the most recent thing for me was C Sharp. I didn't know C Sharp maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So now I know enough to get around, like especially for all my previous stuff in Blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much Blueprint minus the visuals.
Yeah,
So
it is. You're right.
it's, if you do enough of one thing, you could see how it can apply to others. And I think knowing that, and it's how and when to apply things to another, kind of, connect the dots.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny too, like throughout my career watching like tools and processes kind of like become standards. 'Cause I talked to a lot of people who like talk about Blender, as being something that they use on the art side. And I'm like, I never even heard, like, I've never used it, heard of it. Like, and now everybody's using it. Like that stuff happens all the time, it seems.
I've seen so much good stuff out of Blender.
Yeah.
And I don't know Blender. I haven't had a need to learn it yet.
Mm.
But if I have to, I mean, I'm sure I could pick it up, just
Right.
like any other program.
Exactly. Yeah. And that literally is the point, right? Like it's the thing I try to tell people, especially when you're talking about proprietary tools or something you haven't used before. It's like, if you're doing the same kind of job, then that tool does the thing that you need. It's just about learning, how do I do the thing I know how to do in this new tool? And you usually can pick that up pretty quickly because like what you want to accomplish. It's just a matter of like, how do I do it here? And that usually doesn't take very long.
Like currently, one of my current tasks is recreate this we have lidar data. We get some really bad photogrammetry stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Recreate this. I'm like, someone has started a process with static mesh. I'm like, can we use terrain instead? Since it's a wide, it's a big environment. I think terrain could be better. So now, can you take your knowledge, use the terrain system to do something that a static mesh is doing now? I think it's possible, and that's literally what I'm doing before this call started. So
Nice.
and it's working. So far it's working. So I'm like, all right, I know all these bits. Let me put what I know, kind of prove the technology works, and that'll make everybody's lives a lot easier in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that totally makes sense. I always tell people, don't get early in your career or as you're learning the things you want to learn for this industry, learn something very well, because like the more you know about one editor or one tool set, that knowledge is going to translate. It'll be done differently potentially in another proprietary engine, or like, I know how to do all this stuff in Unity, and then it's about, okay, now I need to know how to do it in Unreal or whatever. Like it's, what you want to accomplish and how. It's just a matter of like that translation of syntax almost. Like that's a way easier problem to solve than be like, oh, I know all these editors a little bit, but I don't know how to do anything very well. So dig into something deeper. All right, next question. I got 3 more. You ready?
Ready.
If you were born in the year 1870, what do you think you would have done as a career?
Fisherman.
Fisherman. That was a quick answer. Why do you say that?
That's my fallback answer to if I quit this industry now, I want to become a fisherman or aquaponics farmer or something like that.
What, and why is that? Like what is that something you've always enjoyed?
I think I just like the ocean.
Okay.
I'm an islander at heart, so
okay.
I just like the ocean, and I like fish. So I'm like, I can see myself becoming a fisherman.
Okay, that's you got some conviction behind that answer. I like that.
It's you do anything long enough, you kind of think of ways, or ways out of it, or if this explode now, I just want to become a simple farmer.
All right, the simpler life.
Yes.
All right, what about if you were born in 2070? What do you think you would be doing?
Let me see. My current skill set.
I would say look less at your skill set and more at what you think you're built to do. Like, what do you think you're naturally would be good at?
since it's like solving problems, I could probably fix somebody's crappy AI prompt.
But you'd be a problem solver, right? That's what it sounds
I'd be a
like.
problem solver. Yeah. So, oh, the server's down. Like, all right, let me smack with a wrench or something, and all right.
I'm with you. I love how often you've said the term problem solver because I say it so much. That's what I am. Like, if there are not problems to solve, I'm not feeling fulfilled. So I totally get that. All right. Last question. Who would you recommend that I ask to come on the show that hasn't been on here already?
My circle of friends have gotten smaller
Hmm?
these coming years, but I wanna I'll do a shout out for Andy Xiao.
Andy, spell that last name for me.
XIAO.
Okay.
I met him during my Bungie time, and he
Okay.
was part of my circle.
What
He is-
what kind of position does he normally have? What is he?
So he is ridiculous. So he started as I guess, a journalist from Sucker Punch.
Okay.
He did modeling. He worked on I think the first or second Infamous series.
Oh, okay.
Actually, before that, he was on Halo, like OG Halo. Essentially, he was a journalist in the beginning, VFX during a Bungie time at Destiny, and I actually got him hired at Unity as well.
Oh, so he's working with you
So
again?
he's working with me again, that's another thing. Like a lot of previous friends I ran into and stuff, you see them again somewhere throughout your career.
Oh, man, you are touching on so many things that I preach all the time. This industry is so damn small. Like, there are people that I've worked with at 3 different companies throughout my career just because I know someone that, like, we've got a position and I know someone that's good at that thing. Bring them in. You know, it happens all the time. Networking is so important.
But yeah, Andy right now he's if I think I'm a technical artist, he's like way above me already. He just hit the ground running with like programming and stuff.
Okay.
So he can like hella tech right now. So I'm like, how? You just like picked it up like a month or two ago or whatever. But no, he's ridiculous. He has a lot to say. He has a lot of stories. He's just I think he would be a interesting person to talk to.
I love it. I love it. After this, we will talk about one, having you back on and when that's going to happen, and then I need you to connect me with Andy. That's awesome. I love it.
It's gonna be a 3-part series, right? Because I'm the third.
Yeah. Dude, we haven't gotten past your full cell time barely. Like, we got into one job. So like you could be a 3-time guest yourself. So we'll see.
I mean, after Rockwell, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then now 6. Not to mention about the side game I'm working on with my wife. So
Yeah.
7.
Plenty to talk about. Plenty to talk about. As you were ending your time at Rockwell, how did you kind of start the process? Because you decided you wanted to get back into games. What was your first step to kind of move in that direction?
I think I was pretty much spamming the full sale career of development.
Right. You did mention that. Okay. And so did you actually was that a good connection for you? Like talking to them to find something in the industry?
I think so. Only because, like I was super awkward back then. I don't want to talk to anybody. So if they could at least get me a step in or like a, initial hello, that's more than, a good starting point, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of opened the door, and I guess it was up to me to do my best to convince them to hire me, essentially.
Okay. So did they come to you with like, hey, here's positions that we're hearing about. We're going to put your name in for that. Is that kind of how that process went?
I don't know how it is now, and I can't remember how it was then. But it's essentially like, all right, I'm looking. This is what I do. If there's anything that's any hits, let me
Okay.
know. Here's a hit. You want to follow up? Yes. Chats, and I was in Washington.
Wow. All right. So, and where did you go first in Washington?
Redmond, Washington, a startup called Psychosis Studios. They don't exist anymore.
That name sounds familiar though. What did you go there to work on?
It was a lot. It's essentially clones. We made iPhone clones.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
And you
it
you
was,
went to do mobile. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, it was mobile. So it was another Full Sailor. He graduated the programming
Hmm.
side of Full Sail.
Game dev. Yeah.
He or his family have the funding to kind of start a company, and that's what he tried to do. I guess he reached out to Full Sail and Full Sail, placement and all that stuff, and hooked me.
Man, I'm gonna have to. I that name is real familiar. I feel like I might know or have at least. There's something about that's ringing a bell. I'm gonna have to look into that and figure out.
The name, the CEO and my coworker, what his name was Jai Rangwangi.
Okay.
Jai Rangwani. Yeah, so he started it, and yeah, I guess he's from the United Arab Emirates,
Mm-hmm.
Dubai, essentially. So there's your funding right there.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, it was him, his other friend from game dev. Yeah, it was pretty much 4 programmers and me as the only artist. Since I kind of had like that generalist role, I could model, I could do animating, I could do bad rigging, I could do VFX. So like, all right, let's hire this one dude, I guess.
That's indie dev for you. Would come in and wear a bunch of hats. So, what did you come? Was there a specific Did you come in for a specific thing, or was it like, hey, we do mobile games, we've got a bunch of stuff going on, come help us out with all of it?
That was pretty much that. It was like super loose. Like looking back on it now, like I wouldn't have taken it.
Really? Why do you say that?
Just because of startup and how startups work, I guess. Like now, if you see a startup, we want to see how much funding they got, how much
Yeah.
backing and all this stuff. The development plan, I guess, roadmap, and all that stuff. There any plan for like growth and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Any
That's
return
not a
on
startup
interest?
mentality, right?
No,
The startup
this is
mentality
like,
is much more of like, we have big dreams and come work your ass off and help us realize those, right?
That's more bootstrap, I guess. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is more like I guess what you see in TV type of startup. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Let's do it, instead of the proper way of startup with get the funding, get all this planning, a lot of planning.
Yeah.
Before you actually start up. But
big dreams, small pockets. Thing says in the chat. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I always call it sweat equity, right? Like when you join a small team startup, it's you're putting in efforts that you hope will pay off later, right? And you're probably not. Sometimes you don't make anything or very little to kind of get started on something. But I assume in this case, this was more of a traditional position for you, like. There was salary involved in those kind of things to get you to move out there. Yeah.
Yep. Here's a big wad of money from relocation. I'm like, here's a relocation fund. Here's your salary. Come work for us. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It goes back to like, I don't have any prior, I guess, wisdom outside of that. I don't know what to expect. I just said yes. Let's do it. It's games. I'm in.
You should. And getting that first job truly in the industry, I think, is you got to do whatever makes the most sense, right? Like you got to figure something out. You got to getting your foot in the door is so important in this industry.
If you feel like at least I always felt like I wasn't getting anywhere at Rockwell. It was steady. You have plenty of work, but it's the same work.
Yeah.
And the amount of vehicles that exist is a lot. I don't want to make all of that.
No, it's understandable. And I think sometimes figuring out, like, I'm not someone who can just churn the same thing over and over. I need new problems to solve. I need new, things to kind of get into and kind of that excite me, and do the same thing over and over every day, every week, every month. That would have weighed on me very heavily. So it sounds like it's the same for you.
It goes back to, I guess you said like ADHD or whatever as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. It's a big part of it for sure. I got to be excited about what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Like,
it has to be exciting, and it needs problem to be solved.
Yep.
And at Rockwell, the problem is we have a lot of stuff we have to make. I mean,
that's not a problem, right? Like that's
right?
just that's just a churn at that point, you know.
The client,
not that that's necessarily a problem, right? Like having consistent work and you know that and being able to do it easily is good, but it's not stimulating the same, you know, part of your brain.
It just wasn't for me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Some people really enjoy that, right? Like some people are much more comfortable in a scenario where they're like, the money is okay. I know what my work is every day. I can go in and just kind of clock in, clock out, do the thing I need to do and move on. That's just not me, right? I don't excel in that environment.
Yeah, like I have friends who stood at Bungie. I'm like, you had the same job in the same game now for like the past decade now. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Despite how, even if I don't care who you are, I ain't doing that.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm with you. So you get to you're working on mobile stuff now, which is your first time doing that. What was that like for you? Because mobile development is very different than, you know, traditional AAA or even, you know, sim type stuff.
It was very different because it was mostly 2D.
And
going back to like my 2D kind of sucks, but that's what I did. No, what I did was model everything in 3D and just render it to a texture.
Oh, okay.
So it's 2D now.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Workaround.
Whatever works for you, right?
It made since it was 2D and sprite based, we were using you know, sprite sheets, flip books for animations. Since I did everything in 3D, I could just bake that sequence out. It worked out. And any iteration, just hit rebake. It's done. You don't have to hand animate, draw every frame again. So,
yeah. Nice.
Problem solved.
Yeah. Well, that's cool though. Like you kind of just you used what you knew in your way to develop things and figure out a method that worked.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes
you come in and they're like, we do it this way. Like this is how it must be done. But I think the places at least that I've been, I felt the best or, you know, kind of excelled is when it's like, here's the problem. How are you going to solve it? Right. And then you kind of use your own expertise and method to kind of make that happen. So how long were you there? Like, how long did you work on this stuff?
I'm trying to find it now because I don't remember. It was under a year, but only because we ran out of funding.
Okay.
I think we had so much, and if we didn't turn a profit, then he was going to get cut off, and then by extension, everybody gets laid off.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
So I don't have it listed on my LinkedIn, but essentially, once that company dissolved, I couch surfed in California, where I started some film career.
Well, all right. Wait a minute. All right. Wait.
Short films, I should say.
Okay, hold on. Like we literally only have like 5 minutes left, so I feel like we should not jump into this yet, because like suddenly you're in California, you're living on couches. Like this sounds like a big story. So so let's not dig into that quite yet. But we have a really good place to start next time.
Yeah, so I guess as an overview, you know, I was born in Jersey, Full Sail in Florida. No, I'm go back again. Born in Jersey, raised in Puerto Rico, Full Sail in Florida, Washington for the startup, California, back to Washington, Georgia, Texas, back to Washington. So all that's coming up eventually.
Wow. That's pretty similar to my kind of move too. Yeah, no, I get it.
Coast to coast.
I'm looking forward to this. Like we have at least one more episode, so that makes me happy. So, before we wrap up for today, though, I'm guessing there's going to be people that will want to talk to you about kind of what you've done. They may want to reach out to you, connect with you. Is there a way that you prefer to people reach out to you and talk to you?
I guess I'm trying to get into that now. Another thing of what I want to do to better myself is talk to people.
Yeah.
Um, I guess you could post somewhere on the list, the socials and whatnot. Sure. And you could always just reach out to me directly on LinkedIn.
Okay.
If it's more in a professional kind of setting or question related to industry, LinkedIn, Discord for whatever, and Facebook I'm trying to get rid of, so I wouldn't use that.
Nice. You and I will talk after this about another time for you to join us. But man, this has been awesome. Like we've barely touched your career, but we've already talked about some awesome stuff. So we have plenty more to talk about, and I'm looking forward to it. But for now,
good.
Yeah. But for now, I'm going to jump off of here and say my goodbyes, and we'll connect and figure that out. But I appreciate you, and we'll see you again soon.